It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports, where division rivals will clash in the NFC South. It's the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Prime Time.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is in uptown Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium. Tonight, we've got the crew set for what should be a real treat, a great Monday night matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that could have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
Ready to get this one started. And off we go from uptown Charlotte. Out of the end zone comes Smith. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Now here are the Panthers out for their first possession and leading the offense in his first season with the team, quarterback Baker Mayfield.
And if there's a quarterback in the NFL who didn't need any extra motivation, it was certainly Baker Mayfield, because this young man already has a permanent chip on his shoulder to prove the doubters wrong. Being replaced and then traded from Cleveland, the team who took him #1 overall, it only added considerable fuel to his fire. Now in Carolina, his entire focus is proving that he can be an elite QB and silencing all the noise.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Mayfield. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Marcus Davenport. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at 3rd down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here's Johnny Hacker now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. On the return, Hardy. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Now here come the Saints about to begin their first possession. And the man in charge of this offense, his 8th season now in the NFL, former #1 pick, Jameis Winston.
It was terrible to see Jameis Winston suffer his torn ACL last season because he had the Saints rolling in his first year running the show in New Orleans. They went 5-2 in his starts, and they were just 4-6 after he was injured. And how about this? He only threw 3 interceptions, really addressing the big concern people had from his time as a starter in Tampa. New Orleans, they plan to roll with him for a 2nd season and hope that last year's performance will carry over in a full season.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
The receiver factor at Ohio State turned out an NFL-ready deep threat this year in Olave, who New Orleans jumped up to get at #11. The Saints learned last season they need another defense breaker in their receiver room to allow a little bit of space to throw underneath. Sub 4.4 speed and a history of turning deep routes into touchdowns made Chris Olave their guy, and he gets them the 1st down.
Kamara with a run on first down, but he's fortunate just to get back to the line of scrimmage there. No gain. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They run it again with Kamara. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. The line to gain is a 33 on 3rd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Got an open man. It's Olave. Touchdown, New Orleans. Chris Olave, 40 yards. And the Saints put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their 2nd drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
2nd quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football as they are looking at a 2nd and 5 situation. McCaffrey running up the middle. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
You know that expression, he just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Mayfield's throw into the hands of the receiver, Chenault. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. Now a give, right side McCaffrey. Powering forward, and he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a Panthers first down, 17 yards on the play. Well, Christian McCaffrey is as tough to bring down as they come at the running back position, and he proved it right there.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy's made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone. And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. As he's got this down inside the 40 to the 39. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with a draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
Mayfield to throw for it on 4th. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And the Panthers turned away on 4th down. And the Saints will have the football back. Well, I guess they wanted to get that touchdown right back on their first drive, but failed to do so.
And what they have to be careful of is pushing so hard to stay right there, to stay even with their opponent, that they gas themselves out. You know, it's almost like horse racing. Sometimes you don't want to take your horse right to the front and let them do all the work and then someone catch them at the end and pass them up. You want to make sure you moderate what you're doing along the way and then go for the big finish.
Winston now to throw on 1st down. And this is going to be caught along the sideline. Nicely done, but right at the line of scrimmage. To throw again on 2nd down. Winston trying to set up the screen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Corey Littleton. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field.
And now they start in plus territory following that turnover, as they'll try to get some points here before halftime.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early.
Well, obviously, they never want to see penalties on that defense, but this one a little bit more significant there on the downfield pass play.
And coaches preach it all the time. You can't put yourself in that kind of position if you're the defender. You got to stay in a spot far downfield where you can play the ball without creating extra contact.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Mayfield to throw it. And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. Ian Thomas, a 15-yard touchdown grab.
And the Panthers are on the board here in the final minute of the first half.
After nearly 30 minutes of football, that touchdown puts us in a position where if they make the extra point, we're right back to even before we start the second half.
Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. And the Saints offense going to head out now late in this first half. And they've got just under 50 seconds, so time enough to try to work their way downfield if they so choose.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
That's complete to Troutman, right side.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st and 10, Winston. Olave over the middle. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Winston. Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Horn. And a return across midfield and to the 46-yard line.
You can easily see the logic. It's a tie game. They just wanted to press it a little bit right before the half, hoping to get one more score.
Now, easy to second-guess the result, but now you have to think after that interception, just a field goal, and they're behind at the break.
Yeah, I think at the half, the head coach just says, look, that's on me. I wanted to press it, but it's because I believe in you guys.
The Panther offense going to see the ball one more time in this first half. And they'll start with a short field following that turnover as they look for points here before the break. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Now a draw play to McCaffrey. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. That one, a first down pickup of 8. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Pinion is good. And that will do it for this first half. So it's halftime here in Charlotte with the Panthers out on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, BG, thanks very much, and welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report. First things first, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Saints. And they did not do much at all in terms of throwing the football in those first 2 quarters. That's going to need to improve if they want to erase this deficit. Each team making their final preparations for this second half. We're about ready too, as we'll send you back up to Charlotte and rejoin Brandon and Charles at Bank of America Stadium.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. And the Saints set to go here to begin the third quarter. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them.
The ball comes out, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Up the gut, McCaffrey. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. Tyrann Mathieu there to make the tackle.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. Fourth down after the New Orleans defense holds serve.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
Eddie Pinheiro on now. From the left hash, this from 37. This is up and good from Pinheiro. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So it was a 3-point lead at halftime, and they double that with a field goal here.
And I think defensively, you've got to be okay with that because you've kept this game within a touchdown. Your hope is that you've inspired your offense to put a drive together, get in the end zone themselves, and hopefully get you the lead.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time.
Well, sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
Yeah, this defense as a whole has really been flying to the football all game long. They have not allowed too much of anything, and here's another example. A great play there to get in and disrupt it before it could get going.
And the next-gen stats tell the story as he was traveling at better than 19 miles an hour. Second down, and it's Kamara again.
And he loses the football a second time. But fortunately, the Saints weren't able to hold on to it, so they will indeed keep possession.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
On third down, Winston. Looking long for Thomas. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey, and he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers out in front and in control of the football as well as we begin quarter number 4. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
Taking a shot here for Marshall. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Here's Johnny Hecker now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
I feel like you and I could be in our backyard with our dads right now. What did they always say when they were throwing us the ball? Look it all the way in. Make sure you secure it. That had the feeling of not happening there on that play, that he didn't have full control of the ball.
When that punt's coming in, I've never returned punts, but I would imagine it's tough to monitor those guys coming full steam ahead at you.
It really is. You try and get that peek to know where they are, about whether you should fair catch it or not. But sometimes you just have to have a sense, a feeling, and just have to...
Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis.
And the Saints are right back in this football game.
A critical error there in a tight game in the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. That'll go for a gain of 13, helping big time to get away from that end zone. First down.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator now, huh?
Had him pinned back there deep, give up that run. Can't be happy.
Yeah, whatever is in his mind right now, we probably couldn't say over the air.
Thanks to that last play, a little more room to operate. First and 10 at the 18. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
To throw again on second down. Winston over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 17 there and a New Orleans first down.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up a first down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10. Here's Winston. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. There are two words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in the meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
McCaffrey on the counter
to the 27-yard line.
Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. This is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. A handoff, McCaffrey running right. Shoves him aside. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Not a whole lot there on 1st and goal, and that's what you're looking for defensively. You'll certainly live with giving up just a yard or two in this situation.
And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Panthers get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. What a huge touchdown that was, obviously, here in the late stages of the 4th quarter as they try to put this one away.
And, Brandon, when they watch the film after this week, they'll be very proud of every rep if they close this game out. Just a few snaps remaining. They can't relax just yet.
Now to add the extra point. And the lead is now 13. A drive that time of 6 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Winston readies the offense. Down by 13. A little over 80 ticks to go. Their offense has struggled all night, and now they need to find 2 scores late to try to pull this thing out. First down, Winston. Open man is the tight end, Troutman. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Jameis to throw it. It's complete. Kamara. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so he can only go so far outside. And they were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
And they use your boy over there, the 12th man, Sammy Sideline.
Sammy Sideline, you know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak. Winston now. He's got Landry. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's got him in. Complete. And he takes this one into the end zone. And all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting. But I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Lutz with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So a little under 50 seconds to go. Plenty of time if they can get this onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now this one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And with the defense out of timeouts, powerless to stop the clock, this should just be a couple of kneel downs. This is McCaffrey on the give. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. This is McCaffrey. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
third down. Here's McCaffrey. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. What a ball game this was. What an atmosphere this was. And the home team getting the late touchdown, getting the victory, and now everybody in this building can file away with smiles on their faces.
And what do real estate people tell us all the time? It's location, location, location. So being at home, that can be a big deal because remember, they were down to their final chance to retake the lead. That home field advantage, I think it helped fuel all of what happened for them down the stretch. A huge win.